honestly, I think it is hilarious how tiny this little pot is. It's like the size of my hand. And then these little salt shakers that my grandma got me, salt and pepper shakers, it's the size of my hand. So it's like totally fit for me. Okay, that started to boil fast. It is also very hard though to make pasta in this, I realized, because of how tiny it is. Just barely fit these bunnies last time I tried it. So there we go. Probably should add some more water. Okay. God knows I have enough of these spoon things. Bunnies. Oh, did I say bunnies? Annie's. Annie's bunnies is what I mean to say. But I freaking love Annie's. I started off eating their cheddar bunnies, which are just like goldfish, but they're bunnies. I actually have some in my room next to where I sit all the time. But yeah, because I started to get sick of the taste of goldfish. Goldfish is kind of like, I don't know, after a while you get sick of like the taste of it, so. Bunnies are very good and they're organic. And I saw that they have pasta. And actually, before I knew it, I was eating Annie's because my old best friend, her mom would always make us pasta. And one day, I found out that it was Annie's pasta. And for some reason, that pasta was so amazing. I never knew why. And then when I watched her make it one day, I found out that she would put a small amount of plain whole milk yogurt. So I thought that was super weird and super gross the first time I heard it, but it honestly makes a lot of sense that that would make the mac and cheese taste really good, because it says on here, Annie's suggestions. For an even richer flavor, add more butter. For a creamy, tangy version, replace milk with 3 tablespoons of plain whole milk yogurt. And so, yeah, for some reason, every time I went to my friend's house, I was just mind blown by her mom's freaking pasta. Like, she would give me like a whole plateful and I would eat all of it, and then she would be like, do you want more? And I'd be like, yeah, if it's not too much to ask. And she'd be like, of course, like nobody else wants to eat it, go ahead. And I'd be like, oh my god, thank you so much, because it was so bomb. She is an amazing cook. Shout out to Kelly. Doubt you watch my videos. But yeah, her mom, Kelly, is awesome. But yeah, for some reason, I know this is really weird, but when I make pasta, I've noticed that a lot of different pasta shapes end up tasting different with mac and cheese. So like, for instance, shells and cheese are one of my favorite pastas, just because for some reason the shells pick up the cheese in the best way ever. And I don't know, they're one of the best pastas to eat, like other than spaghetti and stuff like that. So ever since I was a kid and a young adult, I ended up liking Kraft. First of all, Kraft spirals, and then also Kraft shapes. Whatever freaking shape I could find, I wanted it. I don't know why. I think it's mostly because there is always kind of a smaller amount in these boxes. Because when I'm buying these boxes, I'm buying them for myself most of the time. So making a whole box for myself I don't want it to make too much pasta. So when you buy craft spirals or craft shapes or anything shape or spirals, it tends to come out just barely over serving, maybe 2 servings. And that's perfect for me. I never ever am able to eat all of it though, which sucks. I feel terrible every time, but I always try my best to eat as much as I can. Trying to keep my pants up, but then it like creates this like thing that I hate, and I can't. Whatever. But yeah, so I love, for some reason, not only do I love it because of the amount is just about perfect for me by myself, but also I just love it because like the pasta picks up all that sauce as much as it can, and no matter what shape. And I don't know if you can tell, but by the way, this is a pen from earlier when I was doing a drawing video, but I don't know if you can tell, but that is the shape of a bunny. See? It's a bunny. Annie's bunnies. Just, you wanna check that out? That's there. The trick about putting a spoon over the pot and it won't boil over, it's totally true. I tested it so many times and it works 100%. The only thing is, with this pot, it might be a little bit bunk, but that's only if you literally have it cranked up to high, all the way up to high. Then it might boil over with the spoon there, but that only happened once, and that was when I accidentally cranked it really high. But yeah, and it doesn't have to be a wooden spoon, but it's best if it's a wooden spoon, and they say that because these eventually can burn, the plastic ones, no matter what kind of plastic. It will take a while, especially with like the nicer ones. Like this one, I did it the whole time last time I cooked and nothing changed about it, but eventually the integrity of it will start to falter. I know specifically my mom has some cheaper ones that tend to melt very easily, so I was always really careful about doing stuff like this. But yeah, that's why they say use wooden ones. Always be really careful if you're doing this. Always stay by it. If you're using a plastic one, you should always be staying by your stovetop no matter what when you're cooking. That's like one of the main things they teach you in culinary classes and stuff like that, is you cannot leave the room. It's like having a child around. You can't leave the room while you're cooking. Mostly though, that is more prevalent when cooking with an open flame. That is a lot more dangerous. Open flame, you never know what can happen, especially with grease. You're cooking with grease in an open flame, that's really dangerous. So never leave the room when you're doing that. This, I mean, you can leave the room for like a couple seconds. I do, but that's only because I'm super experienced. Are these all bunnies? What is that? Oh, it's a little house. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to show you. Oh my gosh, that's so cute. What is this? I think it's a little bike. Oh my gosh. I had no idea. I don't know. But I don't really time it. Like it always says, cook the pasta for 8 to 10 minutes. I don't really do that. I mean, yeah, I'll like keep track of the time just in case like I totally lose track. But the timing usually varies no matter what. So I just always take out a few noodles and just eat a few to see how like how al dente they are, or if they're not cooked enough, which they are not. Okay, I'm trying to show you this little house. I don't know if you can see the little house, can you? Ah! Definitely not done yet. I think I do want the Canada Dry. Frickin' pants, frickin' stay up. There we go. Okay. I get some ice. Oh, this is how I always get my ice out. I get like one of my clean towels and then just boop. Yeah, that's probably enough. So it's starting to get really full of noodles. Like those are just, that's all noodle, barely any water. So yeah, that's what I mean by this. Kind of sucks how tiny this little pan is, but it's so funny how fitting it is for me, like to have this tiny little pan and this tiny little salt shaker. Okay, might be pretty close to done now. Let's see. Get some ginger ale. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I'm definitely oversalted, but it's okay. So I made a huge mistake. Usually I always have my mise en place ready. Mise en place is another main thing that they teach you in cooking classes. It makes everything safer, more efficient, everything cleaner. Mise en place basically just means put your ingredients in place before you even start cooking at all. So, meaning I would measure out my milk and measure out my butter and just have them ready before you even start anything. But for me, since you have a lot of time while you're cooking the noodles anyway, I'll do it after I start cooking the noodles. Chill. Okay, so now what we need is going to be 2 tablespoons of butter, 3 milk. No, what it recommends to do is to put, let's see, what is it? Add 3 tablespoons of milk and 2 tablespoons of butter into the warm saucepan. Sprinkle cheese over milk and stir to combine. So that's what it recommends. Now, when I've done that, all of the cheese sticks to one part and then the cheese clumps up like crazy and then you just have a very, very clumpy sauce. Especially with the Annie's, because it is natural, it tends to do that. So what I like to do is put your butter in there. Boop. And since it says if you want creamier, put a little more butter. I'll put a little tiny bit more butter. Don't do this at home. That actually burned me. Okay. I'll wash the butter off. So, I like to start off by melting the butter in the saucepan. Okay, got the melted butter, and then I like to put the noodles into the butter. Like so. Tiny little saucepan makes it a little difficult, but I have become expert over years. It does make it super difficult though. I forgot how difficult it gets trying to stir this with freaking no room. See? Sprinkle the cheese over the noodles. See, the reason I did that is so that now all of the noodles are covered in the butter so that they're more susceptible to have the cheese stick to them. Okay, so now we need 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. And I like to clean this out because I have OCD and I just can't stand to see that there's any left in there, any cheese remnants. So there we have that. It's a little too much, so we'll pour the rest out. And here we go. Oh. A little clumpy, but we're getting there. I can't stir it that much. I have to like fold it over and over again to try to stir it. But it eventually works. This is not as bad as last time, I will admit. Last time I got so many noodles underneath there. This time I only got 1 underneath there so far. I need to get a bigger pot. Seriously. Alright, we are almost fully stirred, it seems. Just want to be real careful not to lose any. I hate that. Don't want to lose any soldiers. Well, thank you guys for watching me make mac and cheese for no reason. Whatever you're doing, have a good day, good night, good evening. Thanks for watching.